Welcome back. As I have promised earlier that I will be doing a more thorough comparison between the Nokia 7.2 and the Nokia 5.3. So this is it. Before I start, I have to mention again that the Nokia 5.3 is not officially available in Malaysia. The unit that I purchased is through Shopee, and it is actually from Taiwan. So most of the times I actually do not recommend purchasing phones from other countries, especially from the Oriental sites, because as you all know that Google Play is banned in China, and although they do sell Nokia devices there, in order for them to sell it over here, they will need to flash it to probably a global ROM. That does not only void the warranty of the device, but it also means that the device does not come with the original ROM that was intended for the device. So updates might be an issue. And this is one of the reasons why in the Nokia forum I usually do not recommend people purchasing Nokia 9 devices, especially from countries like China. So in other countries where Google Play Store is there, so there is no need for them to flash the ROM, because Play Store is already available, so it will not disturb with your over-the-air update. So with that said, let's talk about the Nokia 5.3. So when I first saw the specs of the Nokia 5.3 and also the design language, it looks very similar to what the Nokia 7.2 is. And this is one of the reasons why I actually purchased the Nokia 7.2 2 weeks ago, because I need to know whether on paper it has a better processor. Pricing wise they are almost similar, so I need to know whether or not this device is worth purchasing, or is it better to just get the Nokia 7.2. So it is August 2020, no sorry, it's already September now, September 2020. I purchased this in late August actually. So I'm going to do a direct comparison with both of these devices. Now in Malaysia, this device can go as low as 899 ringgit, depending on whether there's sales or not. And this device is sold at a global retail price about USD 200 for the 4GB 64GB storage version. This one here is the 6GB RAM version of it. I expect it to be slightly pricier. We can't really actually compare this pricing to the ones in India, because as you know that India is actually an ultra competitive market, so they do have to be marketed slightly cheaper than anywhere else in the world. So of course, if you are going to India, and then you can actually purchase it for a much lower price. But if you compare this with the prices available elsewhere, you realize that the global retail price is about $200, which translates about nearly 900 ringgit. So that is one of the reasons why I purchased both these devices, to see whether or not it's actually worth buying the newer model, because the pricing wise they are almost. Now one thing that I like is that both these devices actually support not only the fingerprint scanner to activate the device, but also face unlock, which actually works quite well. And this face unlock feature is also available in the lower model of the Nokias, especially the Nokia 3.2, which I reviewed previously. Now in terms of display, you can see that the display on the 7.2 is much more vibrant than the one on the 5.3, because as you all know, Nokia collaborated with Pixelworks, and it's supposed to bring always on HDR for the 7.2 unit. So technically you get near OLED experience with the 7.2, whereas the display on the 5.3, it's an LCD display, and it's only HD plus as compared to the ones on the 7.2, which is actually full HD plus. Now in terms of a processor, I've told you this runs on Snapdragon 665 platform, a slightly more newer model than the ones on the 7.2, which runs on the 660 mobile platform. And then the differences does not stop there. The front camera module on the 7.2 is 20 megapixel, whereas the one on 5.3 is 8 megapixel. you can see that both these devices, they have quite similar camera interface. It's quite minimal, it's not cluttered, and both also have dedicated portrait mode. On the Nokia 7.2, you have an additional feature where you can actually access the Pro mode, which is not available by default on the 5.3. So this is a good additional touch, I would say, for the Nokia 7.2. And what you can notice here is that in terms of features, the Nokia 7.2 supports depth and also wide, whereas the one on the 5.3 supports additional macro. A point to note is that both of these devices comes with dedicated portrait mode features, enhancements if you say. But on the 7.2 you get some exclusive ones such as Zeiss Modern, Zeiss Swirl and Zeiss Smooth, whereas the ones on 5.3 do not come with these features. That aside, you can see that the ones on the 7.2 supports RAW file format and the ones on 5.3 does not. On both these devices, they also support scene detection, sort of their AI, but it often does not work well. In terms of photo resolution, the maximum resolution from the 7.2 is 48, whereas that on the 5.3 is 13. But of course, we know that this is not a true 48 megapixel sensor, so it is actually more of a super 12 megapixel sensor here. On the front facing camera, you can see that on the 7.2 you can go up to 20 megapixel, but this is up to only 8 megapixel on the 5.3. If you activate the depth mode on both these devices, you will automatically lose the features to take photos using the ultra wide or the macro on the 5.3. Both these features are off by default if you activate the depth mode, and it's only available in the video mode. So that is a point to take note. So guys, that was the quick comparison between Nokia 7.2 and the Nokia 5.3. They look quite similar, they feel quite similar as well, but there are some differences to note. So this review and comparison I've done mainly for fellow Malaysians who are contemplating to purchase the Nokia 5.3 once it is launched. So the Nokia 5.3 should be heading here anytime soon, but I'm not sure which variant would be here. So I believe that the 6GB variant of this Nokia 5.3 could be priced quite close to the Nokia 7.2. So you might be wondering if the Nokia 7.2 is a better buy. From my comparison, what I noted is that the Nokia 7.2 has a better build quality, a better primary sensor, and also a pixel work display. In terms of the Nokia 5.3, it does have an additional camera module for macro photography, so you don't need an additional lens, a larger battery, and also a better processor. But having a better processor does not translate to good user experience, because optimization is the core. In that sense, the Nokia 7.2 gives you a much better user experience because it has been refined throughout the years. And Nokia 5.3 still need to be optimized because it's quite a relatively new device. What do you guys think about the Nokia 5.3 and the Nokia 7.2? If you have any comments or suggestion, do drop it down in the comment section below. If you have any comparison or anything you want me to test out in the Nokia 5.3 particularly, do let me know and I'll try my best to actually do it. And I will see you in the next video. See you. Bye.